I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Joe Rogan and Katt Williams just stirred the pot again, and this time they ain't talking about who showed up in the Epstein files, but rather who didn't. And if the names they're hinting at really got scrubbed, then this whole release might not be the full truth after all. Alright, the first name popping up in this whole conversation is Diddy, and honestly, that should surprise nobody who's been paying attention to how these elite circles move behind closed doors. Ever since the Epstein files started cracking open layer by layer, folks have been revisiting the same question, not just who showed up in the documents, but who keeps orbiting the same environments where power, secrecy, and influence overlap. And when you start tracing those connections, Diddy's name keeps circling back into the frame, especially when you factor in the growing talk that his island scenes operated in the same region and social ecosystem as Epstein's network. Now, when people bring up Allie Carter's breakdowns and emotional spirals online, it is easy to dismiss them at first glance. But once you listen closely to what she has been hinting at over time, the conversation becomes harder to ignore. She has spoken about being present around Diddy's elite party environments tied to powerful figures, and she has suggested that those spaces were not just about music or networking, but about access and control.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set
I set
on a table, like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have sex with you.
What makes this more unsettling to some observers is how her descriptions align with the insulated environments described in Epstein-related investigations, where privacy was not just a luxury, but a requirement for the system to function. And when you connect that to the fact that Diddy and Epstein both operated private island spaces in overlapping regions, the street naturally starts asking uncomfortable questions about whether those worlds ever truly remained separate.
But again, see, he's in cahoots with Epstein. And then
Was he in cahoots with Epstein, or was it just a similar type of an operation?
No, they were friends.
Really?
Yeah, because Epstein had a on Miami as well, that really private, rich estate in Miami. So they were all in cahoots as well.
And that leads directly into the bigger speculation that keeps circulating, which is whether the same pipelines and the private environments might have blurred together in ways nobody publicly admitted at the time. Especially when you remember that Epstein's operation thrived on insulation and Diddy's social world was built on exclusivity that operated far outside public scrutiny. Both systems depended on discretion, and discretion often relies on mutual understanding between powerful participants. Now, another name circling the block is Oprah, and this one has had timelines buzzing because her proximity to influential figures has always been part of her brand. Yet that same proximity has raised eyebrows whenever controversy hits someone she once stood beside. People have been revisiting her long documented public support of Harvey Weinstein before his downfall, noting that even when survivors called for powerful allies to speak up, her voice remained measured rather than confrontational. Critics argue that her silence at key moments reflected the complexity of elite loyalty, where influence can make confrontation costly. Add to that the resurfacing of criticism surrounding the leadership scandal at her South African school, where the dorm matron, Virginia Mogobo, even even got hit with SA charges. And suddenly the narrative becomes less about individual events and more about whether elite alliances shape responses when accusations surface.
Prosecutors say former dorm matron Tina Virginia Makopo tried to kiss and fondle the girls. She's also accused of kicking and hitting some of them. Makopo pleaded innocent to 14 charges of indecent assault, and criminal injury in South Africa.
I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core.
But questions still linger, not about direct wrongdoing, but about whether institutional power sometimes prioritizes stability over transparency when reputations are at stake. And the next name on that list, believe it or not, is Stevie J, whose history with Bad Boy places him directly inside the same creative and social orbit that defined Diddy's rise. His continued public loyalty has drawn scrutiny, especially in light of claims made in civil filings suggesting that he may have played coordinating roles at private gatherings. While nothing has been legally proven, the persistence of his defense has led observers to question whether loyalty in these circles is purely personal or whether it stems from deeper shared history that cannot easily be walked away from.
You're hanging out with Diddy in his mansion in Miami, and Homeland Security rushes in. While you're there.
While I'm there, Dolo.
You're there by yourself.
Yeah. With the, you know, he has some employees there and stuff. Yeah.
So suddenly there's red dots all over your shirt.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got to just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to stop being there for someone I consider to be a friend to me.
As you should.
I'm not going to turn my back. And it's like, I've been scrutinized just by being a friend. I guess someone never had a true friend before.
Then there's Ashton Kutcher, whose name resurfaces whenever discussions turn toward who attended the same private events that defined Diddy's social world. Old footage showing him enjoying those environments has taken on a different tone in hindsight, and his visible discomfort during later interviews has fueled speculation that the reality of those gatherings may have been more complex than initially portrayed. His past public support for controversial associates like Danny Masterson has also prompted people to reconsider how loyalty operates within Hollywood's tight inner circles. And when asked about his connections with these wild elite circles, dude froze, stuttered.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. Can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane.
Next up, Naomi Campbell, whose long-standing ties to both fashion and entertainment elites place her squarely in the overlapping worlds connected to Epstein and Diddy. Rumors have circulated for years suggesting that she played more than a passive role in certain introductions within those networks, similar to Glasdine Maxwell. Critics often point to her enduring career stability as evidence that alignment with powerful figures can insulate individuals from scandal. Her own acknowledgement of knowing Epstein, while denying awareness of wrongdoing, has done little to quiet the questions, especially given her documented social closeness to Diddy across multiple decades.
Focus on the negative and say this is a vanity charity. There's no vanity about it.
Do you think it's fair to draw you into the Charles Taylor story when you were only a witness? After all, the picture they used clearly shows someone cropped from it. Presume that was President Mandela?
Yes, I do think it's unfair. For me, it's a distorted piece of journalism, and I do love great journalism, but this is a direct character assassination, and it belongs in like an Orwell book.
Now another name circling the block is Will Smith, whose polished public image has made the resurfacing of insider accounts particularly jarring. Former associate brother Bilal has claimed that he witnessed situations that contradicted Will's carefully managed persona, and while those allegations remain untested in court, the absence of follow-up legal action after repeated public challenges has fueled speculation rather than closure.
So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up. Like, it was.
Okay. What did you do?
I froze. What did you, see, I'm not used to seeing. Listen, it's traumatizing. Like I've never seen it. I don't watch. You know, I never seen a man and another man.
Will Smith was bent over.
And Dwayne was killing him.
Condom?
I don't know. I don't.
You didn't look that close.
Listen, even when I was with the deer and headlights, and I finally said, "Oh shit," and they turned around and said, "Close the f***ing door," right? So I back out the door. I'm not going in there. No, I ain't going up in there. I back out the door, lock the door, I leave.
You called her a dope fiend.
Yeah, I called her bald-headed dope fiend, without question. I told her she better sue me because
she said to TMZ when they asked her when she left the Breakfast Club,
yes,
she looked. They was like, "Well, what do you got to say?" And she was like, "We're suing. We're suing." And I was just like, "Okay."
Right.
That's been about 2 years.
Yeah,
and we haven't gotten a lawsuit yet.
Jaguar Wright has echoed similar concerns about how mentorship structures within elite circles can evolve into environments where influence becomes leverage rather than support.
See, they trying to him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present that tape.
And when you add in the narratives surrounding young figures like Brycia Gray and August Alsina, who both experienced significant personal and professional upheaval after entering powerful social spaces, the discussion shifts from individual behavior to systemic patterns.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her.
The street believes that Will may have absorbed mentorship models from figures like Diddy, learning how influence can shield reputations while quietly shaping careers behind the scenes. Next up, the name spinning through the mix is Jay-Z, and this is where the conversation intensifies because his appearance in archived FBI tips connected to Epstein's world has prompted widespread debate. A woman reported that she awoke in what she believed to be an Epstein-owned property during the mid-1990s and claimed that Jay-Z was present alongside Harvey Weinstein. At the time, Jay was still ascending within the music industry, making the allegation particularly striking in hindsight. It is crucial to note that his name did not appear in flight logs or personal ledgers, and the Department of Justice has emphasized that these were unverified submissions rather than proven findings. Yet, public perception does not operate solely on legal thresholds, and the reemergence of his name has revived memories of a dismissed lawsuit in 2024 that linked him to allegations involving Diddy's circle. While that case collapsed, its existence ensured that the narrative never fully disappeared, and this is where Kanye West's long-running commentary enters the picture once again. For years, he has spoken about hidden hierarchies, handlers, and gatekeepers within entertainment, insisting that certain figures remain shielded until pressure forces the system to recalibrate. With each new name surfacing, those earlier warnings are being revisited through a different lens.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the fuck they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right?
Now, when you step back and look at how all these names intersect through shared environments, social alliances, and overlapping mentorship pathways, a broader picture begins to form. It is not about proving wrongdoing in a courtroom. It is about understanding how networks of influence can operate beyond public view while maintaining spotless reputations. And with ongoing investigations continuing to unseal documents, many believe that the redacted portions of the Epstein files may still contain references to additional figures whose connections have yet to be publicly examined. The street has been buzzing with speculation that future disclosures could reshape how these alliances are understood, and trust the online community been loud. One user wrote, "So-called celebs and elites are dark and shady." Another said, "Didn't Katt Williams mention this on Shay's show? He mentioned this was going to happen." So the real question becomes whether these recurring overlaps are a coincidence or whether they point toward a deeper system where power dictates who faces scrutiny and who remains protected. As more information surfaces, the street is left wondering how many of these relationships will withstand sustained examination once additional names are unmasked. Do you think these connections are simply the result of shared social circles, or could they reflect a structure designed to shield its most valuable members until the pressure becomes too great to ignore? And if more names do emerge from the unredacted files, which figures might the public reassess next once the full story begins to unfold?